Hi, 7. Here is the sheet for today, just in case you need some help. Now, we went through questions 1 to 8 already, so hopefully you have those. The answers are also down below this, so you'll just have to scroll to find them, okay? So now you should be up to question number 9. So this is what you have to do. It says it here for you. Expand the expression. It's not letting me write. That's a bit weird. There it is. And then you subtract the left-hand side. So I'll show you what to do first. So the first thing we do is when we put these things over. Put those two little lines, and that is telling you to multiply. Okay? So you're going to go 3 times m is 3m. And then 3 times 8. So 3 times m there. 3 times 8 is 24. Whatever is in the middle plus goes down here. Now, we haven't done anything with this equals and 51 yet, so we're going to write that down. So what you should notice now is you have a two-step equation. All right? In a two-step equation, remember, first of all, we get rid of anything that's added or subtracted. So I've got a plus 24 there. What's the opposite of adding 24? Hopefully you said subtracting 24. And whatever I do to one side of my equation, I must do to the other side. So we subtract 24 first. That cancels out that 24. Remember, we do that vertically, going down. I'm left with 3m on the left-hand side of the equals. And I'm left with 51, take away 24 on the right-hand side. So 51 take away 20 is 31. And 31 take away 4 is, hopefully, 27. Okay? So next, we have 3 times m. What's the opposite of timesing? Divided by, you say. So that's why we are dividing both sides by 3. Remember, you have to do that to balance up your equation. 3 divided by 3, 3 goes into 3 once. So that leaves me with m equals 27 divided by 3. How many 3's in 27? Use your calculator or your head and you get 9. Okay? So that's what you have to do for 10 and 11. Same thing, put those little jumpy things in, multiply them out, and then solve them like a two-step equation. I'm not going to do those. The answers are down there. Have a go at them first and see how you go. All right? All right, here's the next one. So when you get over to the second column, you have to do all that lovely work on your own, all right? It's no longer scaffolded. Have a look at the first side, the first column, if it helps you. I'm going to let you do 10. I'm not going to go over 11 with you. So remember, you need to put these two, I like to call them arrows. You can just call them lines if you want. And we need to go 5 times e gives me 5e. There's a minus in the middle, so I'm going to put down a minus. And 5 times 9 is 45. And that equals negative 35 according to this question, so I rewrite it down. Now I have to say to myself, how do I get e by itself? According to my get rid of rules, remember, I get rid of anything plus or minus first. I get rid of anything times or divided second. So I'm going to get rid of the minus 45. I'm going to do it in a different colour. What's the opposite of taking away 45? Hopefully you said add 45, miss. But what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I must add 45 to those sides. Now this one should cancel each other out. So I'm left with 5e here, thank goodness. Now I've got negative 35 plus 45. Now either do this on your calculator, or you start at negative 35 on the number line and you jump back towards the positives, 45. Okay? Or if you did 45, take away 35, you would get 10. Okay? Any of those ways will do. Now I've got 5e times 10, so I follow this rule. What's the opposite of timesing by 5? Hopefully you said divide by 5, miss. So I divide by 5 and I get e equals 10 divided by 5 is 2. Again, you may use your calculator. Try 12 and 13, see how you go. I'm going to go straight on to 14 and 15. Remember, the answers are down the bottom. Right, going to have a go at 15. So put those lines in. Remember, you've got to go negative 8 times h. So negative 8 times 8, a negative and a positive gives a negative, and 8 times h is just 8h. And then this one times this one, now that's negative 8 times negative 4. What's a negative and a negative? Hopefully you said a positive. And 4 times 8, 4 8s are 32. And write down the 24. Okay, so now we have to get rid of whatever is added or subtracted to the h first. There's a plus 32 there. I'll do this in a different colour. So I must get rid of the 32 first. So let's subtract 32 from both sides. Cross off the 32s. I'm left with negative 8h equals, now what's 24? Take away 32. Now look at that. The bigger number, 32, is a negative number, isn't it? So that automatically tells me my answer is going to be negative. Now if you've got not good with your negatives and positives, make sure you double check on your calculator. Start at 24 on the number line and jump back towards the negatives 32 places. Where do you end up? 32, take away 24, I believe is 8. Okay, and because the bigger number is negative, I know that my answer is going to be negative. So now I've got negative 8 times h. That's what that means, right? What's the opposite of timesing by negative 8? Hopefully you said dividing by negative 8, miss. So let's get rid of the 8 and the negative at the same time. Remember, a negative divided by negative is a positive. And 8 goes into 8 once. A negative divided by a negative in front of the 8s is also positive. You don't have to write that positive in if you don't want to. Okay? All right, try 16 and 17. 18 and 19, answers are down the bottom. When you get to the third column, it starts to get a bit harder. Now, it's very important when you get to this column that you do each of the bracket sections and you expand them first, okay? So I'm going to do the first one with you. Multiply this one by this one. So put those jumpy lines in, multiply 3 by 8. So what's 3 times y? Hopefully you said 3y. And then what's 3 times negative 8? Well, a negative in the middle, I can put down a negative. 3 times 8 is 24. Now I'm going to do a different colour. Now I haven't done anything with the rest of the equation yet. So what you do is you just write everything else down. You haven't done anything yet, so you're going to write everything down. Now the first step you have to do is you have to collect any like terms. So get my highlighter out. Remember, a like term is a term that has the same letter. So at the moment, that's got a y in it. That's got a y in it. So they're my like terms on the same side of the equals, so on the left-hand side. So I need to collect those. So 3y, the plus is in front of the 9y. So that's the operation I'm going to do. 3y plus 9y gives me 12y. The minus is in front of the 24, so it stays with the 24. And then I equal 36. Hopefully you now notice you have a two-step equation. So now all you have to do is solve the two-step equation. Let's get rid of the minus number first. What's the opposite of taking away 24? Let's try a different colour. Add 24, miss. Do that to both sides. Okay, 24s cancel out, and I'm left with 12y equals 36 plus 24 is 60, isn't it? And now what's the opposite of timesing by 12? Remember, that's a times. The opposite is to divide. 12 cancels out. If there's the same number on the top as on the bottom, you can cancel them out. How many 12s in 60? I believe that's 5. So do that, the same with these ones. Expand the brackets first, write everything else out, collect your like terms, and then try and work it out. And these ones are all the same. So this one is a little bit harder. Expand this bracket first, including that minus in front of the 4, and write everything else down. So basically, 10g goes there, plus 11 goes there, 1 goes there. Do negative 4 times g is negative 4g. And negative 4 times negative 2, well, a negative and a negative gives me a positive. and 2 times 4 is 8. Now when you get there, collect like terms. This one is the same as this one. They're both G's. 10G minus 4G, 6G. And this one, they are both just numbers without letters, so they are considered like terms. What is, that's a G by the way, 8 plus 11, that's 19, equals 1. There you go, you got a good old two-step equation again. So now let's do the opposite of adding 19. Let's subtract 19. They cancel out. 6G equals 1 minus 19 is negative 18, isn't it? What's the opposite of timesing by 6? You said divide by 6, miss. Cross off the 6's because they cancel out. How many 6's in 18? There's 3. And a negative divided by a positive is a negative. There you go. I hope that helps you, 8. Good luck with your lesson today. I'll see you later.